What's going on, everybody? I'm Kevin from Cigar Prop, and it is another Drew Estate Tabak and Tech Tip Sunday, powered by Monster Energy Rehab. Monster Energy Rehab, it's what keeps technicians sane. I'm not sure if I like that term, technician. I like mechanic. I'm a mechanic. I'm a mechanical guy. It's I don't know, technician's like a newer term the last like 6-7 years or so. I don't know, fancy term. I'm old school. I'm a mechanic. One thing I want to talk about today, and as always, like I said, these tech tips are things that happen to me during the week in my shop. Or sometimes I'm in group text with other technicians. I talk with other technicians at other stores, various parts of the country. And we always complain about the same thing. Generally, you, the consumer. I tease, because my boss might be watching this, but I'm not teasing. And it's a lot of things are just misunderstandings, you know, or just, it's the consumer's just not aware anymore, or these days, about what's going on with their car. Nobody reads an owner's manual. A lot of cars don't come with owner's manual. You got to go online and read it online. So people just don't know how sophisticated and how technologically advanced today's vehicles are. Most people are unaware that most power steering control systems, like there's not things that link your steering wheel to your wheels. It's a lot of electrical assist nowadays. And with that, alignments have gotten more crucial, being performed thoroughly. So I don't like to admit when I see something in my shop, you know, like we have one of our up and coming technicians performing an alignment, and the alignment bay is right next to my 2 bays, so I'm always able to keep an eye on what's going on. And he had a vehicle up there perform the alignment. Pretty simple alignment that I kind of kept an eye on him, and he did the job properly. And then when he was all done, he had his sheets, you know, before and after specifications, so we can show the customer, you know, this was the year before, this was after. And then I'd ask him, hey, where's your steering angle reset sheet? And he goes, oh, this one didn't have that. And I go, yes, it did. It did. Just trying to be in a little bit of a hurry. And we did it. Is not performing it going to cause any damage to the car? Most likely not. You know, and very few cars we see where the steering angle sensor is so far out of calibration that it almost becomes dangerous to drive. When it does get to that point, though, you will have a check engine light on. You will have your ABS. You'll have other lights on, you know, because you probably hit something. So I had him reset the car back up, and then we plugged in. So basically what that does is I have to tell your car that I made mechanical adjustments on the steering system so it can compensate. So you have steering angle sensors. It's not really a sensor. It's more of a module. Like basically your whole steering column has multiple sensors in it. So detecting when you turn, it can tell your wheels how far to turn one way or another. So if your steering angle sensor is out, so you may be turning this way, and the car will think, I'm trying to figure out how to put this like in layman terms so everybody will understand. So if your car thinks your wheels are already pointing a little bit this way, and then you turn, maybe they're gonna not point a little bit further that way. So in an evasive maneuver, the wheels may not turn as far in the direction as you would want them to turn because they think they're already turned slightly in that direction. So that's why when we make any changes to the suspension system, we need to reset everything. And then, because we reset everything to where it's nice and straight, and then we tell your car, hey, we put the car back to OEM specifications and this is the way the wheels are locked, please reset everything. And then that's what we do. I would say 99% of the cars that we do, the steering angle system is so minutely out. Some would argue whether it's worth resetting. Some technicians will save the time and not reset it. At our shop, other, like I said, this guy, and he doesn't do maybe one alignment a day. We try and keep a really close eye on him. But our two senior lead techs, myself and my other senior lead tech, we always perform that service. Yes, it can take upwards of 10 minutes. Sometimes it's 3 minutes. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, 12 minutes. It's a pain in the butt procedure, but it's the right thing to do because that's what you're paying for when you pay for an alignment. When you go to some places that don't have these fancy machines, like we have, being a large, a company, we have the best. We have a Hunter Hawkeye Elite tire alignment machines or vehicle alignment machines, and they're just the best of the best, and they're the most expensive of the most expensive. A lot of shops don't have those. They can't afford those. They've got older machines, and yes, they can set your alignment, get the wheels all straight, but we see that they're not able to reset that because we get vehicles in from other shops. Hey, I had an alignment performed. It's just not working properly or pulling, drifting, whatever. We go through tires, all of that. We'll check the alignment again, then we'll go and check the steering angle system. And then a lot of times we'll find out from some of these other smaller shops in town, yeah, it's out. Let's get that reset, tell everything, that it's straight again, and you're on your way. It's the same with a lot of people doing some suspension parts at their house. There's some things that you don't realize. You replace a strut, you replace an outer tie rod. If you know anything about cars, you count how many times it goes out, put the same number of times goes back in. Your wheels are straight. You're driving down the road straight. You don't think there's any issues. Like, oh, right on. You really need to at least have that brought in and have the alignment checked afterwards if you're doing anything yourself, especially on a lot of these newer cars. If you're unaware, you can Google whether your car has SAS, the steering angle sensor. Sometimes it's a SDS. There's a couple different terms. Look up in your owner's manual. If you find out you do have that system, if you have like lane departure, if you have front-facing cameras, the radar, if you have essentially any car built after 2020, those cars going back, 2015 that has these systems, you have that system, you need to have it replaced. When you have your alignment done, make sure you ask for that sheet. Hey, did they reset my steering angle system? Because they should be able to show you that sheet, and it'll say calibrated. And sometimes it'll say how far it was out before and after. If you don't get that, and your system has that, you need to speak up. You need to say, hey, this has the safety system. I would like that reset. That's part of an alignment procedure. If it's a smaller shop and they don't have it, I wouldn't pay for the alignment. Like, you didn't perform the job that I paid you to do. I would like my keys, and I'm going to take it somewhere that can perform that service. And then in a situation where you may come into my shop and maybe it's my day off and you slip through the cracks in this one car and it wasn't performed, you need to ask for that. Like I said, I can tell you at my shop, if it happens, it's so rare that I don't notice it. But yeah, steering angle systems, once anything on the suspension has been done, you need to tell the car something's been done. That's the world we live in nowadays. There's a lot of other things that we do on cars, like replacing batteries, that we have to tell the vehicle, hey, we replaced the battery, please reset this system. It happens a lot. So yeah, that's my tech tip. Alignments, it's not just set the toe and let it go like it used to be 20, 30 years ago. They're very in-depth procedures now, and you need to be aware of that when you're taking your vehicle in and making sure the place that is servicing it can service the entire alignment procedure system. All right, everybody, this has been another Drew Estate Tabak and Tech Tip Sunday, presented by Monster Energy Rehab. We'll see you next week.